Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to the TNT podcast. We are here to close out 2022.
What a year it's been. All the games we played that totally didn't come out this year.
All the games that Tyler played from 2022 and all the other media that Tim and Friedman enjoyed in 2022.
Basically.
But speaking of those people, I'm not the only one on this podcast. On my right
That's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
and on the left.
Just Tyler.
That's it. Sadly, we have no Aiden today. He is feeling sick.
He's got the vid.
He's feeling.
Does he actually? He said he didn't earlier.
Oh, I don't know. He told me. Oh, I think because he, took a test. I don't.
He told me he
Yeah,
tested
I don't
negative,
know.
but I was like, hey, I tested negative the first time too. You should test more if you want to be sure.
Bro, literally everybody I know at least 3 people right now who have the vid.
Yeah, it's going around.
Yeah,
Stay
it's
safe, everybody.
happening right now. I'm honestly surprised.
Everybody's
the other
tongue
day.
fucking each other. Like,
Wow, that's a... Stop talking about what the boys do when we're not recording. Jeez.
hey, what?
We don't need the
All
girls
the
knowing about
boys
it.
do it with their boys. All right.
And everyone's pretending it's not happening, but we all know.
Yeah, we all know. I'm
Oh,
saying
this wasn't in the
quiet
show
part out
notes,
loud.
but Into the Across the Spider-Verse got its trailer and its poster. Trailer a little while ago, and its poster was today. Still want to see that movie in 2023, but we'll talk about that next podcast on when we do our 2023 preview episode.
Okay, I know you said we're going to talk about it next week, but I'm curious. Do they have a release date, or they just know for next week?
Yeah, it's like July 3rd or something next year.
Oh, cool. All right, I have time to catch up.
You know what we don't have time to catch up with? We're gamers here. We're
Game
talking
Award.
about the Game Award.
Yeah. So speaking of games that came out this year, watching this, I was like, every game, I'm like, wow, this game looked cool. I should have played it.
Dude, I don't know. Like I view the Game Awards like I do the Oscars. I just roll my eyes out of my phone.
Yeah, the Game Awards are pretty whatever, but hey, Elden Ring won Game of the Year. It was that or God of War. Everyone knew that one of those two was going to be the winner.
You know what? Hot take.
Oh,
I would argue that God of War took actual Game of the Year over.
what do you
Elden Ring.
mean?
Elden Ring won the actual game of the year, but God of War won so many different awards.
God of War won like 6 fucking awards,
Oh well, yeah. I mean, look,
like unheard of.
we've talked. So I don't know if you want to get into it now, Tyler. Probably later. But like we've talked about how like God of War is like the only problem that exists with God of War is that you could argue that there's too much of God of War. But at the end of the day, God of War is like what you dream of a AAA game being, where it's just quality
Right.
top to bottom.
Yeah. We could talk about it later. It comes up on a super special list later.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So God of War won a lot. Elden Ring won Game of the Year. I don't.
Bill Clinton got nominated at the end of the Game Awards.
Wait, what?
So I don't know if you followed this
Nominated,
story.
yeah.
This kid just walks on stage with the Elden Ring developers
Oh
and
my
just like
God.
pretends he belongs to the whole thing. And as they're walking up, he just walks up to the mic and he says, "I'd like to nominate my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. Thank you," and walks away.
Yeah.
Didn't it come out later that he was like some Jewish comedian guy or something, or
he's-
like a comedian
he's
guy?
the same guy who shit, what did he say? It was like he yelled "Free Hong Kong" at one of the BlizzCon events. Like,
Wow.
this dude just has a reputation for going to gamer events and just like shouting shit for clout.
So, actually
Yeah, 'cause now
pathetic
he's
that.
getting interviewed and shit. Like,
So Tyler, as a former security man, how much do you are you like so like is someone getting fired for letting this happen?
I don't know. Depends.
This seems really bad that a rando got on stage with like a literal celebrity level person at this event. Like Miyazaki was on stage to accept the Game of the Year awards. This guy
Yeah.
stood next to
Right.
Miyazaki.
I don't know. Probably.
Could you imagine if something had happened other than this?
Well, so here's the other thing too that happens a lot, right? Like especially like for like these high profile events, it's like because Freeman just also like noted that he was at BlizzCon, right?
Uh-huh.
How much you want to bet that he just knew somebody, and whether there's a guest list or not, it's like motherfuckers like Miyazaki or like these are high profile, like, well, this is my +1 or like this is my entourage. Like,
See, I feel like that's what he took advantage of, but that's not actually like that shouldn't be the case, but I totally get what you mean.
When you
Yeah, and then it's like, what are
rewatching,
you gonna say? You're gonna say no, like me, like I would say no, and then so you call your super over, or like the event coordinator, and they're gonna say some shit like, "Oh, just fucking let him in."
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that if you watch the footage of what this guy did, because the whole thing was captured by multiple cameras, he like signals for Miyazaki to come up on stage and like pretends he's like staff, and then he walks up with them and stands in the back. So they thought he was staff, so they didn't make any kind of note of
No,
him
of course
being.
they didn't.
So it looked like he belonged. So they didn't say anything, and security was like, "I guess he's one of the developers."
Yeah, like it's
So
really easy to kind of like
it
assume like
it plays into the classic thing of if you have confidence and look like you belong there, people will always assume. Or the other thing of two guys can get into anywhere on the planet as long as they're carrying a ladder between them.
it's true.
Like you
Yeah.
just
Like,
you. Can't,
I mean, like unless you're like for those situations, unless you're me, because I question everybody, but it's like most of the time, it's like I'm not gonna
yeah,
bother.
Tyler's like Judge Dredd over here. Like I am.
I am the law. I am the law. I am the law. But yeah, like I don't know, like I said, especially like high profile events, like these people are so snooty and full of themselves, and it's like if you like just try to be like, all right, whatever, like, but this person doesn't belong here, then and especially like in a moment like that where like, oh, everybody gets called up, and it's like, oh, okay, like Freeman said, like, just have, or not you, I guess, he said like, it looks like he was a part of the dev team maybe or whatever, right?
Yeah.
No one knows. No one's gonna care. Like the security, it doesn't have like all thousands of people's faces like memorized to where they were with. Like that's just not gonna happen. So I don't know. He probably showed up to the Game Awards with somebody. He probably knew somebody, slipped in, and then he went up there with them in the chaos.
Wild.
But now because of him, there's probably going to be a little bit more stricter rules now. Maybe it was funny though.
It was very strange in the moment, especially because it got people asking the question, "What is a Reformed Orthodox rabbi?" To which every Jewish person would say, "There's no such thing. If you're Reformed, you're not Orthodox."
And then Chris Judge, the guy who played Kratos, had his whole like filibuster. Did you guys hear about
Oh
that?
my god, I
I was
heard that he
watching it. It
started
went on
getting
forever.
like real and like went way over like 10 minutes over like way over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, like he was up there for a hot minute.
Thank God God of War already came out or this would have been real.
Listen, he was just trying to he was used to fucking like he's got like hours of fucking like dialogue.
I was
in that
gonna
game.
say we
Like,
talked about how I watched. Well, it'll come up later, but I watched the YouTube classic cutscene movie of God of War, the 7.5 hours of God of War cutscenes, and man, oh man, alive, does Kratos talk more in this game than in any other game, than like all his other games put together.
the Hideo Kojima game, bro.
Oh, but speaking of Hideo Kojima games, a bunch of
Wow,
games
what a
were announced.
segue!
Yeah, a bunch of games were announced. I only put on the two that were interesting to me. But first and foremost, Death Stranding 2 is actually happening. We had rumors before, but now we have a real confirmation that Baby in a Bottle Part 2 is going to happen.
Are you guys glad or sad that he's doing another one of this?
I'm glad that Kojima is still making games, is how I'll put it. The fact that he's doing a Death Stranding 2...
No, I know. That's why I'm asking, because I feel like a lot of people were like, I kind of want him to not do Death Stranding again.
It's fine. I feel like I don't know if he's going to make another, and I say this actually jokingly, I don't know if he's making another Strand-type game or he's just going to make another game in this universe.
Oh, I know what Tyler cares about.
All Kojima does is tell games in his cinematic universe, and while
Oh yeah,
deep
you
down
know what I
inside,
care about.
deep down inside, I was really hoping that he had like spoken with Konami and said, "Fuck you guys, I'll come
There
back
it
if
is.
you let me do it my way."
Yeah.
But they haven't, even though Konami's like, "We want to make games again." But it sounds like he's just never coming back to Metal Gear, even though I really want him to.
No, there's no way at this point that Konami ever runs that back. That franchise is just dead.
But it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need
You're
to be a slot machine in
Freeman.
Japan.
A lot of things in the world don't need to be the way they are, but big dumb
Not everything
gaming
needs to be a slot
corporations from Japan make bad decisions is not new.
Yeah. But then in terms of other bad Japanese video game companies who generally make bad decisions, Final Fantasy 16 had another trailer, and they confirmed finally June 2024. For anyone who, or not, sorry, 2023. I don't know why I'm like screwing up the years already. For anyone who's out of loop, Final Fantasy 16 was originally supposed to come out this holiday season, and then around June of this year, they're like, it's not. Expect an announcement though. And then it kept going, and then a while back, they're like, yeah, by the end of the year, you will know the release date. And they finally came with a June. And they previously said they wouldn't lock in a release date unless it was like close to being finished. And there have been enough news articles about how like this game is pretty much done right now, and they're ready to do the media circus.
Can I just say how funny it would be if after all these years we got 2 mainline Final Fantasy games before the 7 remake finishes?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Was it Crisis Core came out too recently?
Yes, the Crisis Core remake came out. I've been watching the compilations of all the scenes from the original that became memes, but done in the new one now.
Oh yeah.
And I don't like. I gotta say this. I don't like Zach's new voice actor that much.
Oh, I haven't paid too much attention to the actor, the talent. I was just like, do I care enough to buy this fucking thing? Like,
No, I was in it just to watch the one scene where spoilers for Crisis Core. Zach and Cloud are both on a mission, and they're both talking about they're both from like these backwater towns. So he's like, "Oh, Cloud, where are you from?" He goes, "Nibelheim." And then Zach starts laughing hysterically, and Cloud's like, "What's so funny? Where are you from?" And Zach looks, smiles, and wholeheartedly says, "Me? I'm from Gogongaga." And it's the dumbest fucking scene because his town's name is way dumber than Cloud's, but he's completely confident in the scene. So I was just waiting for that one meme to come out, and the new voice actor kind of under delivers on the meme. Not gonna lie.
meme.
Anyway, yeah,
It's fine.
we'll eventually get Final Fantasy VII Part 3. Maybe.
Lol.
Launching on the PlayStation 6.
You know what's launching sooner than that, though? I don't think a single person thought this game was going to get announced, Tyler.
What, Hades 2? Yeah, no.
Like,
I mean, once it got announced, I wasn't surprised, but like,
but
before it got announced, I
sure,
was
but
surprised.
going in, you're like, what? Like, if someone
Yeah.
said Hades 2's coming, you'd be like, why?
Yeah, it's like,
Hades 1 is such a
1
perfect,
was
complete
good.
package. Why would you do that?
You know, who knows? Who knows?
Are you hyped for this, Tyler?
I am. I really liked Hades 1, and I really enjoyed the story, so I'm looking forward to the sequel.
So that's what gets me. What is a sequel to Hades even look like? Because the story was so, like, wrapped up.
well, you guys are assuming.
Well, actually,
it's
it
a
wasn't.
sequel.
What do you mean? It wasn't.
What do you mean? They basically closed everything out.
No, they did not.
Oh, never mind. I lied. Haha.
I was gonna say, I don't know what game you were playing.
All I know is there was all the endings and everything. I don't know.
They insinuate a lot of stuff, like, I shouldn't go into spoiler, but like, things weren't appearing like they were. Right?
Oh.
Like, it all starts with like, Zagreus like battling his way and then fighting his dad multiple times, and then finding out that his dad might not be such an asshole the entire time, and he finds out who his mom is, and they get back together, right? And then they also find out like maybe the gods might be assholes.
So do you think
It might
Hades
be
2
assholes.
might be the kill the gods one?
No,
Aw.
I don't think they'll be kill the gods ones.
God of Hades.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just God of War all over again.
It's not going to be Zagreus though. It's going to be his sister.
Oh, I didn't even know he had a sister.
Yeah, was it someone? One of my friends was telling me about it because he also really liked Hades, and he was like doing some digging, and it's like his sister that like wasn't mentioned in this game. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested. I mean, if Hades was a really good game. And I was looking for, because I figured, because they left a lot of things. They did leave a lot of things open. So we'll see.
Last thing from the
Why is
Game
this
Awards.
on here?
I just threw it on here because everyone cares what From Software is doing. And everyone was like, the memes, the amount of memes that were like, what's going to get announced?
From Software is making Armored Core.
Dude, Armored Core is their
original.
series.
Is it really?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's a meme how little people know this.
Yeah,
Because the second it got announced, everyone's like, "Is it going to be like a Soulsborne this time?"
yes.
And they're
So
like, "No,
that's
it's gonna
why
be
I
like
put
an
it.
Armored Core game."
That's why I put it on here, because the amount of people who came out of the
why?
woodwork of like, I can't wait to play a mech version of Souls games, and
know
then
how many
everyone who has a
times,
brain
though,
is like, no, this is the sequel to Armored Core.
As
This
a
is
brain, my guy, I have seen this. I have not seen From on any of the boxes.
I don't know what to tell you, Tyler. They literally, this isn't like they're doing it for someone else. They are the creators of Armored Core.
Interesting. Not like it's blowing my mind that much, but it's like it's weird.
But yeah, no, I just think it's cool because From Software is clearly still has a team working on Elden Ring, and the fact that they're doing something else in the meantime is, I think, a great idea. I don't care. I have no interest in playing what apparently can be a frustratingly difficult, not because of the combat, but because of like, this is like the racing game of mechs from what I've heard, like that you can do the crazy customization stuff that some racing games let you do. And
I hear Armored Core. At least I don't know. It always looked like ass to me. Like the gameplay looked.
yeah,
like
no, I never heard incredible things
what
about
am
it.
I saying?
But,
I think From Software games look like ass. I'm not. No, not sorry.
I mean, sure. I ain't even gonna fight you.
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm
Aiden would fight you either.
I was like, I recognize that they're like, or I think Elden Ring does look pretty decent though. But like most games I have seen that like these Souls games, I'm like, I don't think they look that good.
Well, that wraps up the Game Awards. But Freeman, there's a game that you would give Game Awards to probably if you could.
If it came out in 2022, unironically joking, I wish these things came out in 2022. So I've been talking about it all year. This year was the 25th anniversary of Persona, and it was the biggest clusterfuck of bullshit announcements I could have expected. Like, we went into the year with this poster that has all 5 Personas, and then a mysterious 6th section on the page.
Get out.
Where it's like, no way, are they gonna announce Persona 6 this year? And then they're like, we have 5 big announcements we're gonna announce throughout the year, and everyone's like, all right, cool. Which one of them is going to be Persona 6? So first, they announced some limited merch shit you can only buy in Japan in person. Everyone in the world's like, all right, cool. Really glad they're announcing this crap worldwide for us. Thank you. Announcement 2, a pop-up cafe in Tokyo with limited dates. Fucking thank you again for making this a worldwide announcement when Japan is closed to travelers. I straight up don't remember what I think the third one was that they announced that Persona 4, which is already on PC, is coming to all other consoles. And then they announced Persona 3 is, and then everyone's like, well, which one? And they were dead fucking silent. They wouldn't confirm it was Persona 3 FES, the definitive PS2 version, or Persona 3 Portable, the PSP remake that I would argue is better than FES, but most of the internet doesn't agree with me. They straight up won't confirm anything. Then they announced the return of the Persona concert series, which hasn't happened since COVID. And everyone loves the concert series because at every single one they've done, they always announce a new game. And then the 5th announcement was that there wasn't going to be an announcement at the concert series. And everyone is like, what the actual fuck is this anniversary celebration? And then to make matters worse, they're like, there's one more announcement at the Game Awards. And everyone's like, well, what's it going to be? Is it going to be Persona 6? And they're like, no, we're releasing 3 and 4. The games we told you were coming out this year, they're coming out in January. That's right. We missed the anniversary window to re-release these ancient PS2 games. They're coming out in January. And then they confirm it's Persona 3 Portal because the Steam listing is open early. And it's just like, this was the 25th anniversary? I just don't understand Atlas at all.
Freeman, like I just said before, Japanese game developers make the worst decisions. Somehow every time.
I don't get it. All you have to do is announce Persona 6 in development. Like Persona 5, when it got announced, there was this cryptic trailer with broken English that only had the following words on it: "Are you slave? Want emancipation?" Persona 5. That was it. That was the entire fucking trailer with a bunch of like folding chairs all like stuck to a ball and chain. Weird imagery. That's all they had to do for 6, and they're like, we're not willing to commit to that during the 25th anniversary of the franchise. Whatever. Fuck Atlas. This is stupid. Come back to me when Persona 6 is in development. Anyway, and then the last one that I need to talk about because this shit pisses me off. So, for For anyone who hasn't heard of this franchise, Fate Stay Night, it's made by this small visual
Anyone-
novel company called Type Moon. They're so small, in fact, they can't figure out how to get their multi-billion-dollar franchise originator to Fate Stay Night to release in English. Why? I don't know. They sold random licenses to random people 20 years ago. Can't buy it back. I don't know. Since then, they've come out with several, not only new visual novels, but remakes of their classics that put them on the map. And of those, they've released none of them in English because they're like, people don't like reading visual novels in English. So they finally release, and I think this one's a remake. Hatsukana Yoru, Witch on the Holy Night, which came out for PS5 and Switch. It did not come out for PC, despite the Japanese market saying we prefer visual novels on PC. The author said, no, I know better than gamers. So it's a console only. They release it in English, which is their first actual official English release of any of their visual novels ever. And they're like, we really hope the English audiences buy it to show that we should hint, hint, nudge, nudge, maybe bring more visual novels to the West. And it's like, fuck you. Just give me Fate Stay Night. Like, stop with this buy our new shit crap. Give me this old ass visual novel so I can understand why I'm addicted to Fate Grand Order already. Please. Just give it to me. Anyway,
I will say for the third time, Japanese game developers
What is this?
literally can't make a good decision.
Yeah, I have the demo for this downloaded for PS5. I actually want to play through the demo and decide, is this something that I would actually enjoy reading? Because then I might purchase it. I'm not purchasing it just because I want Fate Stay Night. I will only buy this if I think I can actually finish it.
The fact that every time we talk about a Japanese dev doing something, it's in spite of their terrible business decisions, their games and properties are incredible, so I have to support them. It's not universal. Yeah, get like Monster Hunter's doing good right now, Pokemon's doing terrible right now, Zelda's doing good right now, but Nintendo's an idiot right now, so like
Dude, Crapcom figured it out. They're like, damn, the West likes our games on PC. Let's do that. And that was all they had to do. That and like good or better netcode. That was all they needed.
Even From Software we were talking about, they finally figured out how to make a not terrible PC port with Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's weird how much they think people don't like PCs anywhere. Even though like PC gaming is growing in Japan now. Which I will argue to the death that it's all because of VTubers, because they all just play PC games.
Stop! Don't give VTubers.
Yes. I will give all the credit in the world to VTubers.
Thank goodness Friedman's precious VTubers pushed the world forward.
Stop. I don't like this.
Societal progress being made by VTubers.
Look, man, I'll admit it. We're in the worst timeline, but I'm going to enjoy it the best I can. No Persona 6 announcements, only just merch and VTubers playing PC.
Freeman, what you clearly need to do is get to one of your VTubers and be like, please beg for Persona 6, and that's how we'll get the announcement.
I reported about it when it happened because I was there for the live stream, but Maureen Calliope was supposed to stream Persona 3.
Oh my god.
But at the last second, they didn't get permission, even though their parent
Yes, you talked about this.
Is partnered. And but the stream was supposed to happen in 20 minutes, so all she did is just did this very impromptu stream where all she did is for 40 minutes it was like, Atlas, please let me play your game. Please let me play Persona 3. And it went on for 40 minutes continuously. It was the most like fever dream of a VTuber stream I ever had like the fortune of being live in person to watch. And it was hilarious. Like she lost her mind being like, please answer my email. Just let me play this game. You already said I could play this game. Please, Atlas, let me play Persona 3. And it was just that on loop for 40 minutes.
Amazing.
Anyway, we're already talking about Weeb shit. Let's just transition right into it without any fanfare.
Wow.
Wow. All horrifying.
Real quick, because of the WoW sound effect. I think it's in Spy Family.
Oh yeah, they played it in Spy Family this week.
They keep playing the WoW sound without the WoW, and I realized that the WoW sound effect is now reserved for like ecchi moments in anime. Like the last time I saw it happen live, and it wasn't on Fairy Tail, was season 2 of Quintessential Quintuplets. There's a scene where Miku pulls out these panties someone gives her, and it turns out it's very risque lingerie, and it plays it at max volume.
Didn't they have it?
I remember that.
Didn't they have it in the movie?
I don't think so. The theater would have lost their shit if they played the WoW sound effect in the movie.
I thought I remember. Okay.
But yeah, it's only ecchi moments, but they keep using that sound effect everywhere. But anyway, Weeb shit. Lots and lots of announcements of random franchises for no fucking reason. First and foremost, Demon Slayer. this one was the weirdest announcement. 'Cause
Yes.
At first I thought, okay, there's a movie that's coming out before the season, but the season's in April, so they have 3 months to release this movie. What's the deal?
So
It's a
weird.
worldwide release. How's this happening? And then they're like, well, it's not really a movie. It's like the last hour of last season and then the first hour of this season, and it's a movie. But it's going to be releasing just before the regular broadcast. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is a purely optional viewing for most people.
Oh,
If
it
you already saw
definitely is.
last
It's not
season-
new content.
Yeah, the question is just if you want the theatrical experience and seeing it first, this might be something cool to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to go to this, but I'd consider going.
I would go see this because honestly, I don't. So the movie apparently is like the last 2 episodes of Entertainment District, and then the first hour of the new season.
Like the Sword Village arc or something.
Yeah, Sword
Whatever it's
Village.
called.
I kind of would go see some of the fancy animation from see the end of Entertainment District on a big screen.
Yeah, if someone told me we're going, do you want to go? I'd say yeah, but I'm not coordinating this for other people.
I would kind of.
All right, well, Tim, if you
We'll-
coordinate, I'm in.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll look in the new year when the dates are.
All right. And then another hype Shonen Jump anime also got its announcement. This one, I saw it, and I wasn't mad that this got announced. I'm mad that this got announced
I
before something
forgot.
else that Studio Mappa's doing. So,
Yes.
Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, we already knew was in the works. We knew that I believe the director was doing or working on something related to Chainsaw Man, so it was going to be whatever.
One of
we knew
5,
that
like
Jujutsu-
2 of the endings or something, maybe.
we knew that Jujutsu wasn't going to be in January because he would be just coming off of Chainsaw Man. They confirmed Jujutsu is going to be coming out in June, so not too far off.
Did they say how long the season will be? They never do until like right when it starts, right?
No, they save that info for later.
Because
A lot of times
because
they won't even
Jujutsu was
confirm for halfway
24, one of the rare 24s, not a 12, right?
through. Yeah, but I'm concerned it's going to go the Demon Slayer route of being like we're already big enough that we can just get away with 12 episodes.
We can just take forever and we'll be fine.
Yeah, fuck it. Fans will wait. But speaking of fans waiting, Mappa has the absolute audacity to pull this shit. So we have Jujutsu announced in June. We have whatever other project they're doing in January. There's this hole right now in March where we don't know what Mappa's doing. And 3 weeks ago, the Attack on Titan production committee is like, yeah, put out the promotional art so they think we're going to announce something soon. And they gave just enough time that you'd think that maybe Attack on Titan is coming out in January.
No.
Because they only gave like 6 weeks notice when final season part 1, I fucking hate saying that name out loud. When final season part 1 came out, they didn't give us that much notice for it. So we have this hole in the middle where it's very clear that if Attack on Titan part 3 is coming out at all, it's either going to be in March or it's not until the end of next year.
Oh my god.
So the fact they haven't announced it for March yet is kind of concerning. Like, what is Mappa doing? What is?
So you know what is funny though? We talked about this on Sunday, but if it is Sunday or if it is March, it will be the second time where Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan are airing at the same season.
Hell yeah. Hype confirmed.
But yeah,
anyway,
I remember
so-
how mad. I remember we're talking about the Jujutsu, and then you got so upset. I mean, we all want to see it. Don't. It's not like it's a youth thing,
it's
but
alright. I'm not
it
mad
was
that
so
Jujutsu got
funny how
announced.
you're like, yeah, Mappa announced Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. That's great, but when the fuck is Attack on Titan coming?
Yeah, we need it though.
The
Yes.
fact that it's just been so long with no announcement of this, like them calling it final season part 3 is like the most egregious
Could
shit
you
I've ever heard.
imagine if there was also a movie after part 3?
No, there's not enough material.
I know, but man, that would have. Oh,
Yeah, that.
hey, come back in 2 years for the real ending this time.
Attack on Titan, the final movie. This is like that time Boruto came out with, or not Boruto, when Naruto came out with the movie called Naruto: The Last. And
Oh,
was
see,
like,
I thought you were
is
gonna
this
say
it? Is
this
the
is
finale?
when Naruto came out with Boruto.
No, see, I wish Naruto: The Last was the finale and there was no Boruto. Like that would have been the perfect timeline where COVID didn't happen, everything was good in the world.
Nah, we gotta get that- Freeman,
back
those
to
headbands won't sell themselves forever.
Look, man, I bought a Naruto headband last year. I'm part of the problem. Anyway, next new announcement. This one came completely out of left field. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show Blue Exorcist.
I've heard the
But-
name so many times, but
I
It's
watched it.
It was a show that came out, I believe it was like 2010 or 11, season 1 aired. It wasn't bad, but it had the problem that it came out very early in the manga's life cycle, and then they ran out of canon material to use. So the last like 8 episodes were original and sucked. So maybe it was like 4 or 5 years after that. They come back for season 2. It's like, yeah, we know we screwed up, but the manga got way bigger since we worked on this project. So we're just gonna pretend the last 8 episodes didn't exist and pick up where the canon plotline would have continued. So it does that. The next season comes out. It's not bad, but it's like it almost came out too late. I was so disconnected from the characters. I had to rewatch a lot to remember what was going on. Season 2, it wasn't bad. In terms of plot, it was just okay. In terms of animation, it was phenomenal. But then there's just no news about it. And we're again like 4 or 5 years later. They're like, everyone excited for Blue Exorcist season 3, and I'm just sitting here like, why? Like, anyone who needed the anime to tell them this franchise exists already heard about it before. So like, who is this for? And is this just going to be like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon, where it's just a straight up absolute shit adaptation that's just here to hype up the IP? I don't know. I'm gonna watch it though.
Can I just say, I know you basically summed it up, but the side note on is why now?
Yeah, it's just like I don't understand why it's happening right now. I'm just double checking who animated, because I'm pretty sure it
Friedman,
was...
it's that Bleach effect, man. Everyone's like, ooh, Bleach came back and they're doing gangbusters. Can we come back from nowhere and do good?
Like this is also a Shonen Jump franchise, so maybe
we are now old enough.
Back.
Anime is now old enough to have nostalgia anime that they can milk for money.
Honestly, I'm watching Urusei Yatsura this season, which is just a remake of the OG waifu show. Like before the author went on to make Inuyasha, she made this.
Oh my god!
And like it's a really solid remake. But we're at that stage where just anime is getting remade. Like the big Gundam project this year, outside of Witch from Mercury, was they took that one episode from the original Gundam series that didn't make it onto TV and just reanimated it into a movie. Like the nostalgia factor is very strong, which is 100% why this is happening. But like being nostalgic for an anime that came out in 2011 feels...
Why, Freeman? That was 11 years ago.
You know, it's been 6 years between 1 and 2, and it'll be 6 years again between 2 and 3.
So what you're saying is they're right on time.
Yeah. I'm not happy about this.
All right, let's keep going, because we got a lot of stuff to cover after the Weeb shit.
All right, so real fast. This one, my manga reading buddy's been hyped about this. Every time we talk about new manga getting anime adaptations, he's like, whenever the fuck Kaiju number 8 gets announced, you guys are going to be excited for this. And Kaiju number 8 finally got announced. It's not happening anytime soon. It was one of those very like early still image trailers, kind of like what happened with that one manhwa Solo Leveling. It's going to come out this year.
Oh yeah,
8, yeah, they confirmed for 2024. So we got a while to get hyped for that, but at least it was announced. Next one, Spy Family, to absolutely no one's surprise. Season 2 and a movie confirmed immediately at the end of season 1.
I am still... So that's what annoys me. They didn't wait until literally the title card end of season 1 to say this, like every other show usually does. They did it the week before the final episode airs.
I'm wondering if it's like a hype cycle thing. If they put it at the end of the episode, everyone sees it. But if you put it a week before, everyone feels the need to tweet and message everyone they know about it because it wasn't part of the episode. So maybe it gets more exposure that way?
It just seems weird, though. Like, why start the... Everyone who was watching was already going to watch the last episode to see if there was a thing there. Like, you're not getting new people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, season 2 in a movie, more Spy Family, we'll get to it later, but Spy Family is pretty fantastic, so I'm pretty excited for more Best Fam.
Yeah. An interesting stat I saw, apparently Spy Family isn't popular among children. It's very popular among every other demographic, though.
Yeah, because kids are like, why is this pink hair girl so stupid? I wouldn't want to be friends with her. She's an idiot.
They don't resonate with Anya, but everyone else resonates with every other character.
It's like Kojima said, the memes power everything, but you have to be old enough to understand memes.
You gotta wield the memes. Anyway, speaking of wielding memes, let's talk about Fate a little bit more. Fate has a lot of branching plot lines, including one of the book series, Fate Strange Fake. And they confirmed there would be an OVA coming out on January 1st with the big Tight Moon New Year's live stream that happens every year.
Whoa.
Last year's project was there was a parody of all the Tight Moon stuff called it wasn't called Grand Carnival. It was called Carnival Phantasm. And then they decided to bring that back, but make it about Fate Grand Order. And it was the greatest, most high-budget shitpost parody I could have asked for. And it was phenomenal. It came out on New Year's. And then this year they're supposed to do the hour-long OVA special for Fate Strange Fake, which for anyone who's curious, I know there's none of you in the audience. The plot of Fate Strange Fake is after the Third Holy Grail War in the 30s, a major organization from America copied the Holy Grail with plans to restart the Grail War in America at a later time. So flash forward to 2009, they enact their Holy Grail War, but something goes wrong. In addition to their American Holy Grail War, there's a second strange fake Grail War happening at the same time, summoning weird servants of different classes belonging to strange numbers of masters. Like one servant belongs to a classroom of students who were all taught by Waver. Wild, absolutely crazy. Gilgamesh is in this one again for some reason.
What?
Yeah, he's real Archer and he's hunting fake Lancer. Who anyone who plays Fate Grand Order knows exactly what I'm about to talk about.
My head
Thank you.
hurts.
Anyway, this shit is going to be so stupid, and they announced it's getting delayed. So the big question is, well, now what's going to fill the hour-long live stream they planned for New Year's?
Probably just get some of the voice actors in to just play a party game or some dumb bullshit.
Probably. They do that every time they want to announce some new SSR in Fate Grand Order. So that'll be an interesting New Year's. This is unironically the biggest announcement of the bunch here. So
man, what an era!
The current, I forget what the name of the show. I think it's just called Pokemon 2019. Is the current name of the anime? They announced that for the next 11 weeks, it's entering a new arc, which is called like the Ash's or Satoshi's Farewell, and it's like no bullshit. There's no way Ash is out here. Then they released the promo art, and it's got all of Ash's Pokemon in it. And then we got leaks confirming Ash is going to meet Butterfree in the finale again. And I'm
what?
They can't be. They can't seriously be doing this. And then they announced the new season of Pokemon will not feature Ash as the protagonist. It's going to have 2 new characters. And bigger than the Ash discussion, it's bringing up the question: is Pikachu out as the mascot?
Yeah, that when I saw the artwork for the new show, there is no Pikachu on that picture.
It's weird because like Pikachu's not gonna stop being the mascot of the franchise.
No.
Are they willing to let it not be the mascot of the anime though?
I feel like they should, but they probably don't have the balls.
It's weird because if you look at it from a purely merchandising perspective, most people probably own some Pikachu merch. But you don't own the Gen... Are we up to 9 now? The Gen 9 starter merch yet. So
nope.
They gotta push that hard.
So what if they just pick something else? Because technically, Pikachu wasn't a starter in the original games.
It would kind of make sense given that every game has a Pikachu clone that's severely underutilized in all of their like media.
But see, I think it's much more likely they pick like a cute legendary or something. I don't know. Going with some other, I don't know, but maybe the appeal of Pikachu? I don't know.
I don't know.
I would, let me put it this way. Similar to how you, like, as Tyler and I have discussed many times about how my dad and my brother's wrong opinion about James Bond, but after No Time to Die, I don't want to be in that writer's room. Same thing with this. I don't want to have to solve this, because frankly, with how shitty the internet is, you're going to get, like, death threats no matter what you do.
Yep.
As horrible as that is to say, but, like, man, trying to figure out what to do with Pokemon after Ash is out...
I don't understand why they care, like why they're even thinking about it. I mean, Pokemon's been the same. They don't give a shit about making things different.
So I'm honestly like everyone's sad. I'm kind of happy about this. So like I was there during the Pokemon XYZ that when that anime was airing, and there was a lot of hype about going into the league. Like in every other season, Ash's team is kind of derpy. He's got 1 or 2 weirdo Pokemon that can't really fight. This year it's like Ash has 2 pseudo-legendaries and all of his Pokemon are fully evolved. Like, Ash for the first time has, like, a viable competitive. You could bring this online and be viable in the current Pokemon meta. So everyone's like, what's going on? Like, why is Ash's team stacked right now? So he goes into the league, and it just seems like Ash is going to sweep, finally. He's, like, not struggling. They set up his rival. His rival's, like, a nothing. They're setting up for his water starter versus a Charizard in the grand finals. And you're like, okay, well, Ash is going to win this. The whole internet's so fucking hyped, and then Ash loses to some bullshit at the end. And everyone was livid. And the creators, like, went on Twitter. They're like, you know, like, we can't have Ash win. Then you're not going to be interested in his next adventure. And everyone's like, that's bullshit. He should be able to win. So then the anime goes like, well, fine. If everyone's going to get all serious about it, we'll do this for kids. And then they went and they did the Pokemon Alola arc where they just changed the animation. But then they let Ash be champion of a not real league to kind of test the waters of how people reacted. And everyone was like, well, that's cool. When's the next season coming out? And then they realize, like, you can have Ash win and it doesn't cause people to lose interest. So with this season, they're like, fuck it, Ash is going to win.
Well, let's hold on. You're equating two things. Ash can certainly win, but if you take Ash away as the protagonist, that's a different story. Because Ash could win and just go somewhere new.
I mean, that's what he's sort of been doing. He always has this stacked team, and then he walks to a new route, and his Pikachu like loses to a Pidgey every season without fail. And there's always the big complaint of like, shouldn't Pikachu be like level 90 now? Like, why is this
Seriously?
happening? And they like try to make it work in the Ruby Sapphire anime, and then every other season they just pretend Pikachu is pointless again. But honestly, I'm fine with them doing like a conclusive story. Being like, Ash is the best trainer right now. Let's just end his story and jump over to like new trainers.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. I personally wish they would have gone the Pokemon Adventures route, where every season stars the new protagonist of the like region, but the old protagonists are still involved in the larger plot of the world. Unfortunately, Pokemon isn't that deep, so that's not happening. But they're definitely going to bring back Ash for something at some point in the future.
Oh
and
my
I
God.
will be there watching the tweet reactions when Ash makes a guest appearance in Season 7 of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, or whatever the fuck they're going to be up to at that point.
So here's a quick question. I know we got to keep going, but here's a quick question. If in a world where the new trainer gets up to the point in like 3 seasons where they're going to the Pokemon League, and do you think they should be like, Ash is the world champion that you have to beat, or should they be like, the world champ is mysterious and we don't know who it is, and then it's Ash later?
Unironically, I'd love it. Like, I would love to watch the main character get bodied by Ash and have to move on to the next region. Like, that would be cool.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that said, I'm not that involved in this. I don't watch the Pokemon anime anymore.
Speaking of anime we watched as kids, though.
Oh, yeah. So Trigun Stampede. This one's wonky. So we've got announcement
Yeah.
after announcement of what's going on here. It looks like a very weird, complete remake. I'm intrigued just because I like seeing Studio Orange's evolution of CG anime. They're the only studio that I think ever will make it work, so I'm interested to see how close they're going to get on this. But the interesting news to come out of this is it was billed very early as a Netflix anime. So we're like, all right, we're going to get the usual like batch of episodes at some point. Except they announced they're going to simulcast it. So we're like, all right, it's guys to be on a delay. Then Crunchyroll says, we're also simulcasting it. And it's like a hold up here. Is Netflix going to let Crunchyroll walk away by releasing actual real, like, on the day it airs in Japan, and then Netflix does the usual bullshit where they're like, oh, give us a month. We have our one subtitler, and they have to do it in 12 languages. Or are they actually going to play hardball here and do a real simulcast for once? Because
Do we have an answer?
we don't. I don't know what the release format is, and Netflix doesn't want to commit to anything.
God.
At this point, I almost don't care because it's going to be on Crunchyroll.
Yes.
I
So
at least
goodbye,
have an
Netflix.
answer.
Don't have to think about you anymore.
But I'm hoping this pushes Netflix to realize, like, you got to compete. You can't
Nah.
pretend you're the big boy in the room and just buy up dumb shows
No.
because it's annoying when you do this. And then the last one. This one almost no one but me cares about this, but Right Stuff. I forget Right Stuff. So they were one of the biggest anime DVD distributors in the United States. They had been acquired by Crunchyroll, who was acquired by Sony, who owns Aniplex, but they also own Funimation's distribution branch, who used to be a partner of Right Stuff, but also a primary competitor of Right Stuff. But now Right Stuff belongs to them, and there's a question of whether they can carry competitors' products now. But at the same time, Funimation's not producing new DVDs, and Crunchyroll's like, yeah, there's going to be a gap. So Right Stuff is kind of in this weird spot where they don't know what they're doing. And amidst all of this, the founder's like, yeah, I'm out. Peace. See you guys. Which is very weird because he was like he's super vocal about everything about the company. He was very active on social media. He's one of the few like company founders where I feel like he's a legitimately good person who's just like, I want to make it easy for people to buy DVDs. Mm-hmm. So it's sad to see him go. I know some corporate stooge is going to come in and ruin Right Stuff. Sucks, but that's the future of DVD distribution, and that there is no future. But on that somber note, that's it for the Weeb shit.
All right. So before we move on to what we did in the last week, we're going to go larger picture, and we're going to talk about our best things of 2022. I don't really have any games. Freeman doesn't really have any games. Tyler's games. We all have some movies, some anime, and some stuff like that. What do you guys think? Should we do by person or by like category?
Let's do category.
Okay. So we all kind of ranked things differently. I stole Giant Bomb's ranking system where they're everything except Game of the Year. They do a winner and 2 runners up. So for movie, this was tough on my Letterboxd. I had 5 movies I gave 4-star to. Nothing beat that. And then, but my winner did not have 4 stars. My 2 runners up were Turning Red, which I don't remember that well, but at the same time, I actually feel like it was a Pixar movie that I really enjoyed in the moment, looked really good, and was not... It felt like it was one of those modern stories that didn't pander too hard to, like, modern audiences, quote-unquote, with, like, lots of social commentary and stuff like that. It just felt like a really tight story.
Was it like just a kid's movie that anyone could enjoy? Kind of
Yeah, it was just a really good Pixar solid film. I feel like in a stronger year I might not have picked it, but I think it was good. And then Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This was one of the most fun experiences I had in theaters. This is one of the only movies I saw twice in theaters this year.
That was good.
Seeing Nick Cage, like I'll remember the when they take, like, what is it, ecstasy or something. Or they
when they get drugged up. And
when they're in the town, and they're just like, and Nick Cage is like, hey, maybe those 2 guys over there are watching us. And then Pedro Pascal goes, wait, are those guys watching us? And then it just cuts back to Nick Cage, and he goes, wait, are you saying those guys are watching us?
And they get to the wall, and like they're trying to boost. Like, no, just go.
That moment has so much to it because that was in the trailers, and it was still hilarious in the moment to have the context of them being drugged. It still was funny, and that is rare for a trailer moment to still be good when the movie actually comes out. So that was just such a blast to... They just had so much fun with it, seeing Nick Cage, like, talk to his young, crazy self. Nick fucking... Like, Pedro Pascal did great. I always love Pedro Pascal and stuff, and it was just a really fun time all around. But I gotta say, the best experiences I had in a movie theater and with watching a movie that I've rewatched clips of, watched a second time at home, would happily watch again. This is the movie that I would watch any number of times more in my life. Top Gun Maverick was my movie of the year. Just
That was a banger.
Top to bottom, like, the flight scenes are so incredible. The ending is so good, and so many... I just have so much fun with the ending. Like, it doesn't have some massive story. It feels like a really well done 90s movie. Like, they really took the time to do a modern version of, like, a 90s simple story and just executed it so well. Like, top to bottom, nothing feels like it really drags. The effects look incredible. The dog fighting and everything, all the flying is really good. Like, I didn't rate it crazy high when I first saw it. I think I definitely need to go higher. But this is the movie out of this year, along with Unbearable Weight. These are like the 2 movies that I think in future years, like I was telling these guys, I put on Mad Max with my dad a couple nights ago because I'll watch Fury Road forever. Similarly, I would watch either one of these, but especially Top Gun, any number of times. Seeing that first run through the canyon that he does, when he sets the timer at 2:15, like that whole sequence is just incredible. So yeah, that's my movie and 2 runners up for the year. Yeah. Freeman, you want to go next?
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of movies this year. Very few of them actually came out this year. The 3 that are up for consideration are, Tim discussed one of them. My other one I was going to talk about, I'm not going to spoil it. I know it's Tyler's. But the movie I had to put down just because it was the most unique watching experience was one I actually saw with you guys in theaters. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my movie of the year. It's my watch experience of the year. Sorry, and I'm not referring to us in theaters. I'm referring to just the experience of watching this movie, going in like pretty blind to what it's about. This was a meme movie, and I loved it. But this is also one of those movies where I never ever want to watch it a second time. So much of my
I can agree with that.
Was just that first watch and just the unexpectedness of what the movie was trying to do and how it actually managed to pull off what it was doing in the format that it did it. I had to commend it. It was unique. It's going to stick with me forever. I don't want to watch this movie again, though. But that was my movie of 2022.
Nice.
I mean,
Mine,
Tyler, bring it
I was
home.
like, I'm not gonna go into the runner-ups or
That's fine.
anything like that. Batman, shockingly, was mine this year. You know what? I'll say this year was very weak for movies for me. I didn't have really anything that wowed me. Like I thought Top Gun did surprise me. Like I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I remember you were like not crazy going into it.
Yeah, because I didn't like Top Gun 1. I thought Top Gun 1 was a waste of time. Not even sorry. There was no plot to it.
Hmm.
Like I felt like it was just like it really was just like a waste of time and like I don't know. Like but Top Gun Maverick had an actual story to it. Like it was like your quintessential heist movie disguised as like just a military kind of like action movie
That's a
kind
funny
of.
way to put it.
Yeah, I mean it was like that's what it
No,
was,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
right?
It's funny to think
Yeah.
about it that way.
Yeah. I think cuz I like when I watched it, I was reading through Mistborn or like I just got finished reading Mistborn, the trilogy, like the first trilogy, so I was like, "Oh, hey, look at this." Oh, and I was also like doing like I was like also like looking up like writing strategies for like building heists and stuff like that for like I was trying to help a buddy out on like this idea he had, so I was doing research on my own and I was like, "Oh, this literally has all of the building blocks to a heist." But uh that wasn't it. Batman ended up being the other big shock for me and I was like, "Damn." I actually walked out of the theater like pleasantly surprised. And I went in not wanting to see it because I was like, another fucking Batman thing,
Same.
like, 'cause this is
Hmm.
what I fucking needed, like,
That's why I
and
didn't see it yet.
yeah, and you guys know, like, and you guys know, like, I've been saying this on the podcast for a bit, like, DC is like 95% of it's just Batman, right?
Yeah.
So I was skeptical going in, but I was like, fine, this was good, but I also feel like it was good because like
Everything else is
just
bad.
like well, not even that, right? Like with Joker, right? I feel like this was a test pilot, right? I feel like this is a test pilot for a potential reboot. And this kind of ties into like all the DC stuff. Like we didn't talk about it in the news today, but like there's like James Gunn has officially headed like the DC movieverse.
Oh yeah, there was actually just while we've been recording, The Rock put out a statement that was like they have agreed. James Gunn and I talked. Black Adam is not going to be in any kind of Phase One or anytime soon of any of their stuff. And it's
Yeah,
like to no one's big
there's that.
surprise. Big surprise.
And Henry Cavill also isn't Superman anymore.
Yeah.
Like, like that shit was
Oh,
wild.
we
I was
didn't
like,
even talk about him being Amazon naming him executive producer and star of an upcoming Warhammer 40K
oh yeah, Warhammer
project.
Oh yeah, I
40K. I
forgot
didn't
about
even
that.
really believe it. I didn't really believe
He
it.
ran out of Witcher and he ran out of DC. So hey, what other fandom do I want to guide into the future?
Yeah, Warhammer 40K. Oh, I didn't put Dark Tide down. Oh, did I? Did I talk about Dark Tide last time? I think I
Yeah,
did.
No,
I thought you did a
because
little.
I probably did a little.
I thought
Whatever.
it was
Dark
in
Tide's
the
the shit. But I don't care. I'm not gonna add it. It's fine. But yeah, no, Batman was really good. I do recommend it. But what I was getting at though, Batman, I feel like I feel like because it didn't have the pressure of it potentially tying to anything, that I feel like they could have. I feel like they had a little bit more freedom and flexibility on what they wanted to do and where they wanted it to go. Like I thought, like it felt like kind of like Rogue One to me, right?
Ooh.
Right. Not like in theme, but like of um, you could tell that they played this one a little fast and loose, right? Um, but yeah, like I don't know, I recommend it, and like I begrudgingly recommend Batman things because or like really like any DC or like comic book shit lately because like honestly a lot of it is just cookie cutter shit that really doesn't matter, and I think this movie plays more on the like Batman is really just a fucking scared child, man child with a lot of money.
It's just a man in a suit beating people up. Like
Yeah,
it's not as
like I
romantic as it looks in the comic books.
no, like they touch on it a bit in like the Dark Knight trilogy, kind of, but like he still's like promoted as like a big hero. Like in this one, like you can tell that like he is a lot more down to earth in this role than the other ones, and like I was also a fan of that they kind of wrote him in the way that Tom King did his Batman writing that was so popular in the comics with the Batman Rebirth. Um, and like I said, I was a big fan of that, and I could kind of see that coming through in this when they wrote this Batman for this movie, so I really enjoyed it. But outside that, I gotta say this year was weak for movies. Weak for movies. Didn't like it. Like just the year for movies in general.
Hmm.
Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah,
Well, do you
only
want to?
comment I want to throw on Batman though is that it had my car chase scene of the year because seeing IMAX, feeling the roar of the Batmobile was like a next level experience.
Yeah, that shit was that was a good
That was a good scene. I'm so mad my friend stepped out to get popcorn during that part.
foolish.
I know they missed the best part. Anyway,
Are
let's.
we gonna are we gonna go to games now?
Yeah, we need games.
I was
Next.
gonna say games and books. Only you have stuff,
Well,
or
I have
Freeman
I
has
have a game
one
on
game. That's
technicality.
true.
So I'll just say here, I only played 2 games that came out this year, and one of them is my disappointment of the year. But the only game I'm going to talk about is my game of the year because everything I played is actually older or it's just Witcher 3, which congratulations, I finally beat. DLC coming soon. But my game of the year is Monster Hunter Rise, a game that technically didn't even come out in 2022, but it came out for PC this year, which is the way to be. Because if you got it for Switch, you had to pay for Nintendo Online, which when it came out, I absolutely refused to. But since then, I bought Nintendo Online. Either way, Monster Hunter Rise, great game, great follow up to World. Um, not as, ironically enough, not as good as World. After having played through all of it, the monster variety just isn't that amazing.
Darn.
Uh, the gameplay's phenomenal. I forget who I was complaining. I think I was complaining to you guys about this on Sunday, but like the big problem that Rise has, and I'll be very brief about this, is they gave you all these movement skills, which are cool, but they all are very wonky in practice. But to account for the fact that you move faster, monsters move faster. And they almost rely on the fact that you're going to use these jank bullshit dodging techniques. And I almost don't want to. I just want to play normal Monster Hunter, but all the monsters move way too fast to play with normal Monster Hunter. So you have to play Rise style, and I don't like that. I don't like when the game tells me how to play. I want
Mm.
to check how I play. So that's my only real complaint with Rise. Otherwise, it's a phenomenal game. But Tyler, what's your game of the year?
God of War Ragnarok, baby.
Baby.
Yeah,
God of
no,
War
it
2.
kind of goes without saying.
How long did it take you to beat it?
I don't like for main story, probably like 40 hours maybe.
Okay, in
If I
number
were
of
to
days,
like,
how long did it take you to beat it?
probably like took me a month. Yeah, it took me a month because I'm also working on platinuming it.
Oh damn.
So, yeah, I only have one more mission left, and that's to beat the last like quote mega boss. I already beat one of them, and I just have to beat the other one. But it took a lot. It was a lot. It's a lot of game. It's a lot of fucking game.
Yep.
Like holy shit, man. Like god damn. It's a lot. It's a lot of game. Um, but yeah, it was really good. I feel like we were gonna talk about something else, but I can't like remember. I don't know.
What
For
in terms of
games?
this game in
No, I know,
particular,
no, no,
or
no, no. Like for God of War Ragnarok in general, like we brought it up earlier in the
oh, during the Game Awards section?
yeah, and then
Oh, just about how like there's it's such a triple A game. Like there's the
oh
only negative
yeah,
about it is just that there is too much good stuff. Like
oh yeah, yeah.
watching that
Just yeah,
7.5 hour movie of the game and you talking
yeah.
about like it's 55 hours to like get pretty
Now
completionist playthrough. It's like, oh my god, that's just so much game.
I will say it is a 10 out of 10 game with an asterisk. And I played it. I would say I played a decent amount of games this year too. Like what else I play? I played Returnal, It Takes Two. I know those games didn't like come out this year. Like Modern Warfare 2 was really good. And some other shit. I played some other shit this year too. Um, but I digress. Like it was really good. But the traversal, I think the traversal, like the way you like just navigate the map and like how you have all these uh teleport spots, like these fast travel points. I think it's ass. And I know a lot of these like climbing bits and everything are to like hide load times and everything. I totally get it, but Jesus Christ, it's just a lot. Like just to get across the map is just kind of a pain in the ass, and I don't like it. And also going like on these like in the middle of the story, like you have all these fetch quests and everything to like quote break up the monotony of like whatever you were doing. It's cool and all, but like for me to like just go through the game, like say I wanted to play the game through again, I would probably reconsider because it's such a lengthy game, and it's like I can't skip those scenes, right? Like there's a section with to avoid spoilers with Atreus and a new character that he meets. That part is like an hour or two long, and it really like it amounts to stuff like you get a lot of plot, but like say I want to like play through the story again one day, I don't want to go through that scene again.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like it's just a lot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Outside of that, it was fantastic. If you like the God of War games, it's great. The way it ends is great. The story is great. PlayStation's really good at making father and child games.
Father and child games.
Out of
Yeah, I
war.
mean, every time they come out with a game with a dad and their kid, it's like a banger. Like I don't,
Yeah, that's fair. And they get TV shows.
and they get TV shows.
I think it's just dads make good video game protagonists.
Yeah, yeah,
Unlike an
yeah.
anime where they all die.
Or they're all dead, or they're all at work, or something like that. Yeah, I mean, look at The Witcher, man. You play as dad.
Yeah, literally
True.
dad.
You're literally dad. Like we can go on, but I'm looking up dads in video games.
I need to
I'm
find my
looking.
daughter. That's just the plot of the game.
Yeah, literally though. Yeah. Oh yeah. Top three best video game dads: Kratos, Joel, Lee from Walking Dead,
Oh.
Sojiro Sakura. You probably know who that is. It's from
Oh hell
Persona.
yeah, he's the best dad in Persona 5.
See, there it is. There it is. Damn it. Top 10 best video game fathers: Hades from Hades. Christ. He does become a good dad. But yeah, who's next? Who else?
well, I
Alright,
think
so
we're
we're
done
doing
with games, right? Because I did not play a single new game this year.
yeah. So we'll just do shows and anime next.
Yeah, I'll just do anime, and the one show I'll give an honorable mention to is House of Dragon.
I was wondering. I was like, what's this doing in your anime?
Yeah, no, I
section?
didn't. I didn't want to do a whole shows section, but I didn't have.
Oh, I have a show.
No, I know. I just most of the actual like television shows I watched this year were anime. I realized there's very very few actual non-anime shows I watched this year. But House of Dragon was quite good. I was surprised at how good it was and how much it got me kind of back into Game of Thrones after the disaster. But yeah, so for anime, this was really tough. Freeman started out saying this year didn't have that much good, and then I was like, oh wait, there was a lot of good shit that came out this year.
Yeah, I think that. There's a lot of good shows, but of the shows I watched, maybe only 10% was good.
Yeah, no, but excuse me. Things that did not make my list include Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, and Made in Abyss Season 2, which any other time I would say is absolutely insane. But at the same time, all of those shows I hope continue, whereas I don't think a single one... Well, I know only... Well, I hope two of them. Anyway, my runners-up, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I did not expect to think this to be that interesting, and I had a great, especially coming off of not liking Trigger's Star Wars Vision specials. I was not that hopeful. This was really good. The writing I really liked. The whole, the whole crew aspect and the whole cyber psychosis and the way they use Night City, and like the production and the visuals and the music is just all comes together in a really, really solid package. And then Spy Family. Spy Family is the other runner-up. Spy Family is one of the sneaky fun shows where the concept is just so weird, but like I remember so many things. Like we just watched the tennis arc, which was such a blast and so ridiculous. I remember the filler episode where they get a castle for Anya to make her happy. Things like just the Anya faces, or oh my god, remember when Damien makes his griffin? Like one of the actual funniest bits in an anime in a very long time. Just top to bottom, all the characters are great. Everyone loves Lloyd Yor and Bond and Anya. Like they're such a great family. It's so wholesome. It's wonderful. It's like Tony Kawa with murder. But I have to be a loyal fanboy and say that Overlord 4 was my anime of the year. It had its ups and downs, but like few shows do I truly love like Overlord. And after Friedman spent years telling me I would never get more Overlord, getting another season.
Enjoy your fucking miracle because you got it.
I know, and that's why this is getting this, because like, and now we're gonna get the movie next year, and then hopefully another season again. Although it's gonna be a years because we basically caught up to the light novels apparently. Man, this whole cast of like, there are a few shows where there are so many characters that I remember and give a shit about. Like, it's just, it so rarely pulls off the ensemble cast, and like Ainz and all of his dumb bullshit and like all the Floor Guardians and then the Kingdom characters.
So stupid Overlord question here. Which season was the best so far?
Probably 2. I think. Yeah, because I think it's either 2 or 3 where the kingdom gets attacked for the first time. But I mean, honestly, I've had so much fun with all. This is not the best season of Overwatch. It's just wild that it won, but just the fact that it came back and just hit it out of the park. Like, starting off the season with Ainz accidentally getting a vassal state without trying is one of the funniest fucking and most Overlord things possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to stay loyal to Overlord. And it came back. The animation was better. Like, it's still not perfect, but overall, like, there isn't any really egregious CGI like there was in season 3. Like, and it's so much fun, and the world building is so enjoyable to me. So yeah, Overlord won for my anime of the year.
Oh yeah.
Freeman, you want to go next?
Yeah, so this one was a little difficult because there's like I was saying before, of the 50 plus anime I've watched this year, like 43 of them were kind of whatever. But the cream of the crop was plentiful this year, and I had to narrow it down a bit. And I'm going to talk about a couple. Tim, you already talked about Spy Family. I personally believe the first 12 episodes, which I've now seen like 3 times now, phenomenal. Second half, still good. I'm not enjoying it as much, mostly just because I think that Nightfall is a absolutely terrible addition to cast and is ruining the show for me. But everything else is still really solid. Spy Family is a great show that I feel comfortable like recommending to people who don't watch anime, because it's just like lighthearted and fun enough. It doesn't rely on that many tropes. So it's in here just because it's one of those shows that I feel safe recommending to people. And the show I was really considering giving it to was Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 2. Just because I remember after Part 1 happened, I personally had a lot of qualms with how MAPPA was doing Attack on Titan, that their art style was a little wonky, the CG looked a little weird. The plot was still really good, but that has nothing to do with the studio adapting it. But then Part 2 comes out, and everything I had a problem with got addressed. The animation was better. The CG models got a very slight update. They started moving way better. If you watch the last two or three episodes of season 4, part 2, when can I spoil it at this point? I can spoil it. If you haven't seen this part, skip ahead 10 seconds. But once the female Titan shows up again and you see her in CG, they did that very well. So it shows me that they have the potential. They just probably need a little more time, which is why I'm not so upset about this delay for part 3. But it was a great show, and I would have given it my anime of the year until Bleach happened. Bleach is on another level right now.
Wild.
Especially because if I went in with just the nostalgia of Bleach, I wouldn't have felt this way. But the fact that Val rewatched and I sat in for all of my favorite moments and realized, damn, Bleach was not as good as I remember, only to come back to this and watch it be like, in the season where Chainsaw Man is doing phenomenal shit, Bleach is my shonen of the season. Like, to do that right now is wild. The fact that Bleach is still being Bleach. It still has the same normal plot structure that Bleach would normally do. They still have bits of the episode where they very clearly want this to be the comic relief section. But, like, we'll enter a comic relief section, and in this season, I know this scene is not going to be bad. It's actually going to be a good comic relief section, which they didn't do in the first 300 episodes of this show. They came back, they did everything right, and they make me feel happy about having waited and been like a fan of this franchise, because this is like the ultimate reward for being a patient fan. Like, I wish shows that came back gave half as much attention as the Bleach team is doing right now. And I'm actually very upset that we have to wait 3 months for the next 12 episodes to start, because this is so good. But yeah, that's it. That's my anime of the year.
Wild to Freeman. If you had before this year,
I wouldn't have believed it. I thought Bleach was going to be a joke when it came in.
I will say, even as someone who doesn't know Bleach and would not put it on my top of the year, the production value in this show is like, if we were doing prettiest animation, it would probably be like Bleach fighting Demon Slayer for top animation on a TV show of the year.
Yeah, for real. Demon Slayer changed the game where they're just like, yo, our shonens need to like actually be impressive anime again. We can't phone it in like we're doing with Yellow Petal here.
And like, I think of the fights with like some of the shit like the head captain does is what sticks out in my mind in Bleach.
That episode is forever like burned into my soul.
That burned because fire.
Yeah.
No, that was really, really, really good. So yeah, Tyler, what about you? I know you don't have anime, but do you have
Japan?
Yeah.
Give us a real show.
From Japan? Or no, you want?
No, I said take us away from Japan.
Oh, I was about to say. I was like, yeah, cause like I don't know, like I've been watching a lot of things piecemeal, like for anime wise, and like I guess I don't know, like I haven't finished any seasons aside from what I'm trying to think though, like did I finish any anime this year?
You have an anime list, right? Do you keep it up to date?
Dude, I have not kept it up to list for. I haven't kept it up to date in months. So I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I maybe To Your Eternity when that finishes. So far, Chainsaw Man's pretty good. So we'll see.
You mean Vanitas Part 2 wasn't your favorite anime of the year?
Oh yeah, Val made you watch all of Vanitas, didn't she?
You did. Yeah, she did. She did. It was okay. Like it didn't wow me, but it was okay.
No, that show wasn't that good. Let's be real here.
It had its moments. I'll say it had its moments, but it definitely wasn't like a banger.
Yeah.
For sure. But my favorite show, like I realized I watched a decent amount of stuff like seasons this year. But Better Call Saul was definitely my favorite show.
Damn.
That I watched this year. It closed out too. Like the series finale happened, and I was glued to my chair for every minute.
Was that
It
good?
was really good. If you liked Breaking Bad, like there's a lot of people who say like, oh, it's as good or better than Breaking Bad. I would probably agree with them. I'm more on the side of it was as good, for sure. So I like there's a lot to it, but yeah, if you're out there and you liked Breaking Bad, it's a good show. That's all I got.
Nice.
All right. So it's time for the
Well,
spiciest part
hold
of the
on.
list.
Tyler has his own personal category about
Oh
the
yeah,
written
books.
word.
Yeah, that's right. The written. I
The
completely
ancient
forgot
scripture.
the ancient scripture. Well, I read a lot of books and listened to a lot of books also this year. Um, too bad only two of them I read this year came out this year, and that was the rule. So, um, the two books I did read this year was it wasn't Foundry Side. Oh my God, Locklands. In the Foundry Side trilogy, which is the last book. Yeah, I realized that these two books were the last in like their series, or at least like their arcs or whatever. And then the other one is It's also something I just finished reading. In between, I think our last one. I might have talked about it last one. I don't know, but it's the Lost Metal. In the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. And that's my favorite current book of the year. Yeah. And if I were to give it to a book though that I did read and or listen to
The
this
X one you
year,
finished.
yeah, it would be The Alloy of Law, which is the first book in this like series the Lost Metal was in. Like that shit was fucking 10 out of 10. Loved it, loved every page. Loved from cover to cover, it was amazing.
Yeah, this is some strong praise.
It was. I recommend it to Tim. The only thing is
Mm-hmm.
you can't go past Alloy of Law, unfortunately. Because so this is the thing too, like I'll briefly talk about it. Like and I think I talked about Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere a little bit on this podcast, but Brandon Sanderson has like a very, very extensive like world, right? Like it's probably more extensive involved than like Stephen King's thing that he has going on with his Dark Tower and shit. But like this is it's a very ambitious. Um so I think I don't know, he's probably got somewhere in the realm of like close to 20 books across books and short stories that all revolve in this universe.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a lot. And the Lost Metal, like a lot of them are like can be read like standalone. Like the Stormlight Archive so far can be standalone. It kind of covers everything and it gradually like takes you there. The first Mistborn trilogy standalone and like the Alloy of Law was originally meant to be a standalone novel. And all the other short stories and everything. However, the Lost Metal in particular goes so hard with like his expanded universe knowledge that I would argue that like you can't read the like after Alloy of Law, so it's like you have those three books that are like the actual trilogy for Wax and Wayne. Like if you were to read them, I would tell you you have to stop until you read like these two other stories at least, which is kind of a bummer. But I was a fucking monster and I listened to the first three Mistborn books and the short story, and then Michelle and I read The Alloy of Law and the two books and then this book this year.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot.
I need to read more.
You don't have to, just Michelle and I have a book club and she reads fast.
Gotcha. So you got to keep up.
Yeah, like it's kind of ridiculous. Like her and Tim, man, I don't know what you guys do, but you know I don't even feel that bad because sometimes she misses stuff because she's just going.
The
I
downfall of
was like, "Do
speed
you
reading.
remember this?" And she was like, "Oh, I must have glanced over it." I'm like, "Yeah, slow down." I'm I'm basically like the snail on top of the turtle. Slow down. What was that from? Was that Family Guy? Slow down.
Oh my god, what? I know what you're referencing.
Right? Like I can't remember what that was. Like, hold on, now I want to look it up.
I'm
But yeah,
googling it too. This looks like Seth MacFarlane style. What is?
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Family
yeah, it
Guy.
was Family Guy. It was. Yeah, but
Oh my god, this fucking cutaway gag.
yeah, the cutaway when cutaways were king, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get there when I want to get there alive. Yeah, literally me every time we're reading. But yeah, like and oh, and also I was reading Mistborn. I was listening to Mistborn because she's like, "This is my favorite trilogy. Read it." I'm like, "Fine." Um, and she's like, "Also, this book, the last book in this is coming out this year, so like, if you catch up, we can read it." So I was like, "Yeah, okay." And I listened to Mistborn. You guys heard my thing about Mistborn. I was like, "Okay, like, this is whatever, right? Like, Mistborn's okay." Didn't hate it, but like I also didn't love it either. And then I got to Alloy of Law, and I'm like, this fucking is great. I am glad I read Mistborn so I can fully appreciate this. But you don't need to read Mistborn to appreciate it, though.
It's a nice to have knowledge.
Yeah, it's nice to have stuff like, and that's why I was kind of upset. Like I was fine, like as someone who really liked the universe. I thought Lost Metal was good for me, but like now I have lost the ability to recommend it to people, which is kind of a bummer. But it's okay. Outside that, I'm done though.
Well, now we can move on to what Friedman was shooting for, which
Yeah,
is
the
for
spiciest edition.
all the good that came out in 2022. Some things just missed the mark. So, what were the biggest disappointments of 2022? Friedman, you want to go first?
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
You're right.
listeners, you've heard me rant about this before. As you all know, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, and by huge fan, I mean I hate Pokemon.
Simp.
So, you'd think that I would complain about the very recent, very noticeably buggy, unfinished, very clearly rushed games that came out. But I kept my word, and I haven't played those games, so I can't whine and bitch about them here. But what I can whine and bitch about is the buggy, awful, unfinished Pokemon game that I did purchase this year, which was the Pokemon Diamond remake. This was not supposed to be difficult. Game Freak has done this so many times. All you have to do is take the old story, the old maps, the old Pokemon, and just slap them in your current engine, and they couldn't be fucking bothered to do that. They outsourced it to some Android developer who just managed to hodgepodge mechanics together to make, in my opinion, the most baby brain dead game they could think of that looks like garbage and plays like garbage. This is a disappointment, and we will never get the Diamond and Pearl remake that we actually wanted. This was a disaster and my disappointment of the year.
Very fair.
God damn. God damn.
Keep it concise. If you want to hear
Man,
my
fuck
actual
Pokemon.
complaints, rewind like maybe 10 podcast episodes. I'm pretty sure I like whined and complained about the friendship mechanic like on end for
Oh
multiple
yeah,
episodes because
I
it
remember
made the
that.
game, I don't want to use the term unplayable, but like undesirable to play is the phrasing I'll use for this.
Damn. Why does that feel worse? It
Because
sounds worse when you
it's
say
entirely
it.
playable, you just don't want to.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because at least if it's like unplayable to an extent, you're like, oh well, I can try to play. Like, to me, Cyberpunk was like unplayable, but I still wanted to play it.
Yeah. Whereas the opposite. There's nothing technically wrong with it. It's just a straight up bad gameplay loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who else wants to be salty with me?
Um,
The
go
year.
ahead, Tyler.
Man, fuck that Halo show, dude. That Halo show was
I'm so glad I saw the
garbage.
5 minutes of that show that was good.
I was gonna say like that was literally like those first 5 minutes, like that opening scene was it.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
And what else? Oh, there was one other thing that I thought was all right. I'm trying to remember what scene it was. There was a scene that I thought it was like, oh yeah, it was like later on, like where it was like one where like banshees attacked, right? And I was like, oh, this scene is cool. But the entire show, man, that shit was bad. Like I could literally have an entire topic and tell everybody why this show was bad from like each episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just like I don't, man, you had source material. You had all this source material and you still fuck it up.
Mm.
You
I've
still
heard
fuck it
I've
up.
heard 3 people tell me they like the Halo series, and I've asked them all the same thing after. Like, did you play the games? And they all say no.
Yeah. But that's the weird thing, right? Like even if you didn't play the game, right? And I try looking at this from a more unbiased view, but like obviously it's a little bit difficult with me because I've grown up with the games and I played them a bajillion times. And it's like you try to make sense of the plot and it makes no sense. Like Michelle was like, this show is ass, and she's never played Halo,
Mm-hmm.
not once. She has not played a single Halo game. Um, because she's like, none of this makes sense. Like there's a scene where Master Chief gets into a fight with his other with his fellow squad mates in Silver Team, not Blue Team, Silver Team. I don't care if they're named Silver Team. It's whatever. I honestly don't really. That's the least of my problems with this show, honestly. Um, but he gets into a fight, like an actual fight with like two members from his team who are fully kitted in like Mjolnir armor, and he's like he has basic on, like he has like his undersleeve on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about, Tim? Like
Yeah.
that black suit that they wear like under the armor. He wears that and he wins.
Yeah, you
I'm
talked
like,
about
there's no
this.
fucking way.
Nope.
I'm like, there's no way. And then also, John gets fucking like he gets punched in the chest by one of them wearing a full suit. And I was talking to my buddy about it. He's like, "Yeah, well, I understand. He's the Master Chief." I was like, "I don't care if you're the Master Chief. Like, no one simply just takes a full gauntleted fist from Mjolnir armor
Nope.
and like live to tell the tale about it. Like,
Nope.
their reinforced bones will only carry them so far."
Like, sure, yes, in the video game, because video game, they don't want you to instantly punch through a grunt's skull instantly, but even though that's what you basically do with melee attacks. But yeah, no, a Spartan punching an unarmored human, even another Spartan in the chest wearing Mjolnir armor, like, God, it's like putting a semi-truck in the size of your fist, like,
Yeah, like I'm just like there's so many inconsistencies and like there's so many things that just don't make a lot of sense. And I'm just like it was a really big disappointment because I was begrudgingly looking forward to it and I was like parts of it does look really nice, but the plot fell really short. They had all of these like different plot threads that led to fucking nothing.
mm-hmm.
It was just ass. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Definitely not watching the season 2 that comes out.
Oh, God.
I didn't even know they announced it.
Oh yeah, they announced it like halfway through season 1.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Or not halfway. I think they announced it like the day it dropped. They already like, confirmed it. But whatever. Yeah, Tim, you're
Yep,
you're the
my
grand
final
finale.
thing. Yep. So to go along with the TV shows theme, I know I talked about this because when House of Dragon was coming out, there was another show. There was another. Rings of Power, man. I wasn't super hyped for this, but Val was really hyped because this was the Lord of the Rings show, the first Lord of the Rings content outside of like video games since the movies. Excuse me. Like it looked pretty, but man, so much pacing all over the place, so many frustrating plot lines. Like the whole thing with the hobbits is just slow, weird, and boring. Like they talk like the hobbits are like the whatever the whatever you call them. they're like, oh, we have the cutest little community, but if you can't carry your cart, we leave you to die. Like, it's so weird. Like, that whole plot line and then the wizard and everything, it's just strange. Like, Galadriel is just unlikable. Like, I get it.
Galadriel's a bitch, dude.
I get it.
Oh my
She doesn't
God.
have to be who she is in the movies. Fine. But, like, she's just an ass to everybody. Like, she's just
You
not
know
a
what?
nice person.
She has exactly everything that came to her at the end of the fucking show, too. So.
Sure. But, like, even then, like, all the plot with, like, how they handle the
elf
ending and
guy.
everything.
Dude,
And
the elves, that whole elf plot, the whole time Michelle and I were like, why didn't he just go, like, back and tell his homies?
Tyler,
Like,
oh,
why?
yeah, the
Like,
whole
why
thing with
did
the
he-
people in, like, the South.
Yeah, the town. It's like, dude, if you went back and told them that, like,
Oh,
these
dude, and the
fucking
level
guys-
of timing bullshit with them showing up right as the orcs are doing stuff. And the whole thing about, like, the orcs, like, building their tunnel that, like, literally you can still see the sun through the cloth, and they're just like, yeah, that's fine. Literally the only plus about the writing in this show is Elrond and Durin. Like, I would watch, if the whole show had been that, this wouldn't even be a conversation about how disappointing it was. But, like, everything else is just so boring, and no one is really likable, and, like, some of the conversations, especially in the last few episodes, are just ugh. And the whole thing with, like, the Numenorians and the time, according to Val, like, the timeline is also all screwy. The final reveal of that title card thing, Tyler, do you remember in the last episode?
Oh, yeah.
Where the name burns away and the other name comes up. I'm
Yes.
like, oh my god, this is so cringy. And I hate to say that, but, like, this is really stupid. I don't know if we'll even watch season 2. Apparently this was already confirmed for 5 seasons.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
Like, Amazon went all in on this shit, and, like, oof.
Eh,
I
we
just-
wonder if they're regretting it.
we were thinking of watching it, but, like, I think we said, like, we'll watch it only if, like, we have nothing else to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
Understandable.
like, I just can't get over how, like, Galadriel is just so unlikable, and she just keeps, like, kind of stumbling forward despite being a dick, and it's like, this is not fun. And then there's weird stuff about, like, you know, Isildur is in the show, and you just, it seems like there's no pathway for anything to get from where it is now to where it needs to be for the plot lines to happen. Like, it just seems ludicrous that certain things could happen in time, and the even the time flow is weird. Like, Elrond basically teleports back and forth between the Elf Kingdom and the Dwarf Kingdom.
Yes.
Obviously, like, the Numenorians showing up later on in the show is
The
ridiculous.
Mandalorian shows up. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
People just fly around like
They do.
It's like
Elrond
it's
does-
you know what it is? It's like later Game of Thrones, where it's like Arya decided she wasn't on another continent and came to get revenge.
We're gonna march an army across the continent. It should take us a week's tops.
It's
Yeah.
frustrating. So yeah, disappointment of the year, Rings of Power. No anime, no movie disappointed me nearly as much as watching this TV show every week.
Damn, that's bold to say that no anime disappointed you more. Than
I didn't
Rings
say
of
there
Power.
weren't anime I didn't love. I certainly didn't love some anime. If I go to my
Oh, no, I'm saying
completed
it just
list,
speaks volumes about Lord of the Rings.
sure. If I had to stick with anime, Devil is a part-timer. There, I'm done.
I still haven't finished that for that exact reason.
Yep. Oh, actually, no. I can't say that for sure because Shield Hero Season 2 also came out this year.
Oh
Damn,
god, I
yeah,
forgot
you're
that
not
even
wrong.
happened.
Get ready for
Forgot
season
that was-
3.
Oh, God. Wow.
I
Yeah.
was waiting for that too, man.
We all were.
Damn. Yeah, okay, so if I do like the other categories, my runners-up are Devil's a Part-Timer and Shield Hero are both runners-up disappointments. Because I don't think if I went to Letterboxd, I would be able to find a movie that disappointed me that much. Like Duel wasn't good. Duel was my lowest rated movie, but that
Oh,
wasn't a
I'm
disappointment. I
very
didn't think
upset
that
that
was
I
good.
recommended that to all of us, even though it wasn't that good.
It's fine. It happens. It was a dumb hate. It was a fun hate watch. We all made fun of it. Um,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I know we're an hour and a half in now, but real quick, let's try to run through some of the things the last watched and played for the past week. Obviously, none of this made the list, but I have nothing to contribute to this, so this is all you guys to just blaze through.
I'll go super fast, like 2 minutes tops on each of these. First one's really short. I beat Devil May Cry 5. Little did I know that last time we spoke, I left off at the beginning of the final boss fight, thinking it wasn't the last mission, and came back from vacation, did the boss fight, and said, "Wait, that was it. That was all I had
That
left."
was so funny.
So I kind of wish I beat it before the last episode. All in all, very fun game. I knew it was short. That's why I played it. But damn, it was a short game. Really cool that you generally didn't need to know anything to enjoy this plot. So super
Nope.
cool. Game I actually started like 2 days ago because I was playing a lot of Tetris on the handheld emulator that I have when I was on vacation. And my friend made a joke like, "Oh, if you're so good at Tetris, why don't you play PvP?" And then it occurred to me, I still have a Nintendo Switch Online for like another 2 more months. I'm not renewing, but I forgot that you get Tetris 99 for free with that. So I started playing it over the weekend. And I forgot how intense PvP Tetris can be, especially against
Hell yeah.
98 other people. So I've been enjoying that. It's a fun little time waster. But in terms of stuff that I was watching, I watched Groundhog Day on the plane down to Florida. And in a joke with my friends, we didn't finish the last 8 minutes before the flight ended. So for like 3 days, we kept joking how like, "All right, everyone ready to watch the last 8 minutes of Groundhog Day today?" And then we watched it, and we still keep asking each other like, "Everyone ready to watch the last 8 minutes of Groundhog Day today?" As if we're just
Damn.
repeating forever. But all in all, I understand why the movie's held in such high regard. I really enjoyed this, and now I know. Now I know I need to watch more Bill Murray movies. So I've seen whatever the one where he's like a counselor to summer camp. I watched that one like forever ago, and I realized he's just Bill Murray in every movie he's in. So
Mm.
I gotta
Yeah,
watch some
he's
more of those.
funny.
I like him.
He doesn't have the widest range of an actor, at least in what I've seen. But yeah, Bill Murray is still funny.
It's like when you watch a movie with Seth Rogen in it.
I actually,
You know
because
what
you
you're
brought this
getting.
up, Freeman, and I think because I don't think you rated this, but for some reason, Letterboxd says it's popular with friends. You did rate Mark, that you watched it. I had given this a 4 star. I think Groundhog Day is hilarious. So
But unlike anime, where I'm happy throwing out reviews, I feel like with movies, I can look at it one way, and then someone will tell me something about it, and I'll look at it so differently that I don't trust my own judgment of movies. So I just don't rate them on Letterboxd. I don't know how to rate a movie properly.
that's no fun.
I know. Look, I'm
Do you
aware,
know
but
how
then
to
again,
rate anime properly?
yes, because it's all
The
shit.
hell you do.
Because it's all
Damn.
shit.
Even the best anime is garbage, and I know this.
Oh my god.
Damn. Big
Anyway,
facts, big facts.
and then the last one I should have put on here. I'm making more progress on Umbrella Academy season 2. I should be finishing it really soon. But the show that my other friend group is watching, because half of them didn't like Umbrella Academy and they dropped off when we started season 2, is we started watching this show Evil on Paramount Plus. And the short version is the church is asked to do a lot of exorcisms and like solve hauntings every year, but it turns out like not all of them are legitimate exorcisms. A lot of them are just like mental disorders. So one of these guys who's trained to be a priest has to handle this team of people who are all skeptics. One is just a psychologist, one of them is just a supernatural skeptic. And they go and investigate cases that might be exorcisms. They need to determine, is this a real one that we need to call in the church for, or is there actually like a real explanation for what's happening here? And it's been interesting enough. I know season 3, it's either about to come out or just came out, so we're trying to speed up and catch up so we can watch that. But we're almost done with season 1, and so far it's a very interesting show. So I'm enjoying it. I'll give a better review once I'm done with season 1, but we're blitzing through this.
Nice.
All right, that's all my watch and play. I was at Universal last week, so I didn't get to like watch and play as much as I usually would,
Nice.
but still got to finish some stuff.
As for me, I didn't do that much either. I was also on a trip, begrudgingly. But I did finish a few things. I finished God of War Ragnarok. You guys heard my thoughts and prayers about that. I started another game while I was out. I went to Utah. Um, this game I talked about a while ago, I think. It's called Choo Choo Charles.
Oh, I thought this was a
Uh,
nickname. What is this?
Wait, no, did I tell you guys about this game? Or
Nope.
no, I forgot.
I don't remember hearing about this.
Oh, damn. So this is an indie game that's been like teased for a while. It got a lot of like depressed because of the weird fucking train that chases you, and it finally came
What?
out. Yeah, so it's an 8-legged train with a
What?
bunch of teeth, and it chases you.
What the
It's
fuck am I looking at here?
the stuff of nightmares, I tell you. But the premise of this game is that you get sent to an island, and your buddy's like, "Hey, can you kill this train for me?" Right? And you're like, "Sure." So you get a train, you upgrade it and everything with the gun on the back, to eventually kill Charles.
I'm watching the Steam trailer. This game looks ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's super indie. It was made by one guy. It's very buggy and everything like that, but it has a lot of charm. It's one of those like I probably wouldn't recommend it or like say it's objectively like a good game, but it's a fun game. Like I really like the concept. Like I wish like an actual small team of people like put it together because I'm like I feel like the idea has a lot of potential. It's like really short and everything. I didn't beat it, but I thought it'd be fun to like just bring up and talk about.
So you know what's
Uh,
funny? One of the guys I
So
watch on
interesting.
YouTube occasionally who does speed runs of like Dark Souls games just put out a video of him speed running this game in like under 20 minutes.
oh yeah, there's one part I'm stuck on. It's supposed to be a stealth part.
Supposed to
And
be.
dude, the stealth is really bad. Like you can't crouch or do anything, and like the guys they see you from like 2 miles away. It clearly needs some work. I mean, a lot of it technically needs work, but like, I don't know. I might throw it on and just show you guys what I'm talking about one of these days.
I just watched the entire 2 minute Steam trailer. This game looks like
Yeah,
something else.
yeah. Oh, it's something else, all right. Um, and the last book Michelle and I read on our book club we finished is called Sabriel by Garth Nix. It's an interesting dark fantasy novel about this girl who learns who's a daughter. This girl is a daughter of this famed necromancer, a good necromancer, mind you. And one day she receives like her father's like tools of the trade, and everybody claims that he's dead. And she's like, no, he's not dead. Clearly, he's alive somewhere, and she sets out to find him. It's pretty good. Michelle thinks it just kind of ends.
Wait, sorry. The dad's a necromancer or
The
she's a
dad,
necromancer?
the dad's a necromancer, but now she is also a
I would say
necromancer.
the easy way is just attempt to revive the dad, and if it doesn't work, that means he's alive, right? Or is it?
Well,
There's more rules.
that is the premise pretty much. She believes that he's alive, that he's stuck in between like the realm of the living and the dead. And so she's convinced that like if I just get there in time, like I can save him, you know. Um, so that's what the deal is with that.
And I
It's
think
pretty
with that, we're done.
yeah.
Alrighty, so with that, we are going to end the podcast here. We are not, I already know I'm not going to be able to record next week, and we usually do every other week anyway, so, yeah, so we will return in 2023. That's a crazy thought to have, isn't it?
Or stuff we're looking forward to.
Yeah, with our look ahead for the year, but until then, whatever you celebrate, enjoy the holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and
Happy Hanukkah.
yeah, well, that too. But until 2023, my name is Timpedia,
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
and we'll catch you guys in the new year. Thanks for listening.